Yes. Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Cliff Notes Podcast. Available everywhere you listen to your podcasts. Apple and Google and like just wherever you listen to podcasts. Like literally, it is available. Except Tidal, man. I don't know if that's going to change or not. I'm hoping that at some point it changes, but anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. You can also check out the podcast on the X-Ray FM Podcast Network and on the Numbers Podcast Network. And of course, you can check it out at cliffnotes.com. Excited to have y'all here with me today, man. Got a really good interview we're about to get into, man. But just want to get y'all up on a couple of things, and make sure if you're not yet that you're following DJ Klyph on all socials, or go to djklyph.com. A couple of events I just want to make sure that you're up on. The big one, August 20th. If you haven't yet, you got to get your tickets. August 20th. It's Mic Check 7. It's the 7th anniversary of Mic Check. Also celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and then also kicking off Portland Hip Hop Week 2023. So it's gonna be a dope event, man. The lineup is ridiculous. Some of the artists have been announced, haven't announced everything yet, but dope performances. Homeboy Sandman from New York is going to be in the building. Versatile is going to be in the building. Cool Nuts and DJ Fatboy, Boom Bap Project, Brimmer Baden, and like I said, man, we got some other guests who have yet to be announced that are going to be there. We're also going to be doing raffle giveaways, man. We are going to be raising funds for a local nonprofit that I'm really excited about. And we're going to be recognizing someone in the community who's been doing work for the scene for a while. It's an all ages event. Tickets are available right now. Link is in all my social media bios. Also, there's a link at djklyph.com. Shout out to McMinimans. We're doing it at the Historic Mission Theater. It's going to be a good night, man. So get your tickets right now. Don't wait, because you're going to miss out. Trust, you're going to miss out. Hey, yo, man. So like I said, I'm excited for this interview. Have an opportunity to talk to someone who I have become a fan of, man, for the work that he's done for a number of years. And it's funny because even watching that, as I've gotten to talk to him more and sort of follow the journey, I'm learning and seeing more of what he's doing, not only in the current capacity, but what he was doing. I'm just bringing him up right now. We're gonna do it like this, man, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my guy Jimbo across the street, Portland. What's up, Jim?
Hey, how you doing, Klyph? Good to see you again, my friend. Thank you so much for the invitation tonight. I'm excited.
Come on, bruh. Thank you for being here. Thank you for just off top, man. Thank you for what you do for the scene, and including me in that, having me have the opportunity to be, in your circle of influence. Thank you, bro.
Well, I was just saying today, I quote numerous times, it feels like now, your quote of saying, we do this for selfish reasons because we get to hang out with people that we admire. And once again, here I am on Klyph. So, hey, let's go.
No doubt, no doubt. So, I know of you because of the work that you do, as really as a person who is providing platforms via Cross the Street Portland. For folk who aren't familiar yet, man, let me know what is Cross the Street Portland?
Cross the Street Portland basically is a mission project that I started a few years back. It's I've lived in Portland for 45 years. I've been a part of the nightlife culture here my entire life. And during the pandemic, I wanted to recreate the MTV series Cribs, but no one would let you in their house. so the one place it seemed like where anybody can conduct an interview was, I just said, come across the street. Let's, come across the street. So it's a podcast that influences Portland people and its places and tries to make them look even better than they already are, is the mission state behind it.
That's so
Serving everyone, giving a voice to the voiceless, however you want to say it. Everyone has a story, and everyone has a great story as long as someone's there to capture it and they want to tell it. We are there. So
that's what's up, bro. It resonates with me because that's been what I've strived to do for a number of years in Portland. And one of the things that, like, I smile when I get to watch episodes because, like, Jim, for a minute, bro, I thought that I was tapped in for a minute. I thought that, like, people would hit me up. hey, yo, like somebody's coming in to do a show. They're looking for an opener. Can you recommend it? Bro, I watch Cross the Street and I'm like, man, y'all got to tap in with Jim because Jim's tapped in with everybody, bro. Like you introduced me to so many artists who are doing things like not just like bedroom
Mhm.
MCs and producers. Like, bro, you are tapped in with so many individuals, bro. Like, how do you do that? How do you find all of these artists?
That's the number one question I get, honestly, Klyph, is everybody wants to know, how do you know about all these events and how do you know all these people? And the number one advice I can give you is I just show up. I just keep coming. I just keep going to the events. I keep buying the albums. I keep watching their podcasts. I keep watching their social media content that people spend so hard to do, and it shows when I'm in public. I feel like I'm able to speak to someone freely and know about what they're doing, and truly know about what they're doing. Those relationships is what keeps this going, and that's how I know everyone, is because I really do have an interest in what they're doing. At any stage, beginning, middle, all the way to the greatest in town. That's what I would tell anybody. Just keep coming. Just go to the shows, buy the albums, listen to the music, watch the podcasts, and you'll want to meet these people. You'll want to go out and see the nightlife. It'll drag you there even if you didn't know it. So
Yeah, yeah. So take me back to the beginnings of Cross the Street. Obviously, everything starts with a passion for or a desire to, but for you, like just the idea, the concept, like you said, you were using sort of cribs as a template, but just the idea of you doing something like this, like where does that even start?
I was in a bit of a rough time when it all started, and the saying "cross the street," it's kind of taken two different ways. And if you see me coming, cross the street. So you take it how you want. You know what I mean? It's kind of where the origination became from it, along with the podcast in motion. My team and I, big ups to Liz from logistics. Her and I do a lot of research, reverse engineering things, and we found that a podcast is generally done at a desk and it's one or two cameras. But when we take it outside, there's numerous things that can happen on a 15-minute walk in Portland. And our show has captured some of them to a level that's it's kind of strange almost. So, but really the in motion part is really what we wanted to capture, and focusing on the beauty of our city and the beauty of its people and its businesses and its communities and the underbelly, if you will. We're interested in the taco truck, but I'm also interested in who makes the axles. So that's kind of the bread and butter, if you will, of the concept of Cross the Street. And then my love for Portland. I'm never going to leave. I've been here my whole life. So
Yeah, I like that, the taco truck, but also who makes the axles. That's dope.
yeah.
Bars.
How many times, when we dig into someone, do we find out they do something else? It blows me away sometimes.
Right.
The multi-talentedness, if you will, of all these people around us too. So
Yeah. So I was gonna get to this, man, but I mean, this is a good segue, and we're gonna come back and talk about it. But
sure.
once again, as I started paying attention, and maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention. Like I said, I know of what you do with Cross the Street in terms of
Mhm.
the show, but then I realized, yo, you also make beats.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. 25 years plus, I've been making beats. Just an old passion of mine. Last night, I'm not embarrassed to say it. Your man's cried for about 15 minutes watching the Jay Dilla documentary last night.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I'm sitting here next to my drum machine, my MP, watching that thing, and it brought tears out of me. So yes, I do make beats. I'll never quit. I even got me like little tiny calculator sized ones. I'm a freak for it. Don't get me around your uncle's record collection. Something will end up missing,
Yeah. So for you, where does that come from? The you being an artist and a creative in terms of beat making?
I think you said it best when we interviewed you a couple of weeks ago. Being a budding artist, I got involved in it through hip hop and writing And it wasn't in, this is, 1992, 93 when I was doing this, and you couldn't go online and shop for beats. And I just
Right.
happened to be in the same room one day as a 16, 17-year-old boy with a drum machine, a Roland 303 drum machine.
Mhm.
And I just said, what is that? And the moment they said the word drum machine, I was hooked.
Yeah.
There was nothing you were going to do to get me out of my friend's basement without that machine. And I bought it, and the volume button didn't work all the way, and we got it fixed, and it just became a lifetime of buttons. I just
Yeah.
had to have buttons. So, uh, just being around, music, I've always admired, hip hop music itself.
Yeah.
I've been enthralled with it. My dad had terrible musical taste. So my mom raised me on musicals, thank goodness. I know that sounds wild, but that really opened my ears to music. Run DMC, early, Houdini. These are the people
Yes.
that captured my attention. The Beastie Boys, even Aerosmith. Like these are groups and things that kind of made me, oh, what's the next level? And then you learn about guys like Rick Rubin and stuff. And I was like,
Right.
oh, there's this is what I'm talking about. The axle underneath the taco truck
Right.
is what excited me about it. So I wanted to be one of those axles, if you will. So
Yeah.
production was the way to do it.
That's what's up, bro. So,
Yeah.
are there Jimbo beats that are out there that we can that we can tap into?
I just big ups to Rappy Dusky. I just talked to Rappy today. He's putting out another one of his beat tapes that he's done very well. I've never done that. 25 years of making beats. I've never produced anything for the masses to hear.
Yeah.
I've sold stuff with licenses to other companies and things like that, and worked small time. But no, there really isn't a place. I mean, I could say SoundCloud, of course, Jim Bonus Beats. You can find me on there, but big ups to Rappy again. He's trying to motivate me to maybe, yes, I think there is a day coming where I'd like people to hear some of this stuff. I feel like the sample based music is even coming back around again.
Yes.
It's kind of what I specialize in. I made a few beats last week, and big ups to Traffic from Bad Habitat. He tapped in with me and purchased a beat from me less than 12 hours after making it. So,
That's dope.
there is places eventually, I guess. But in the meantime, just if you watch my feed, I post everything. And if you're interested, I am the easiest to deal with the beats. I have like 5,000 of them. I'm impressed if anybody wants to listen to one. So.
No, that's crazy, bro. So, your influence of being influenced by, or caring for this art form that means so much to me. This year is I'm really, really excited for the celebrations that now we're starting to see happen. I follow Rock the Bells, and some of my favorite, like, just some of the OGs, man, and some of the festivals that I see and the tours that I see with some of the artists from that, I think the era that you, or maybe just after, you were referring to.
Yeah.
So look at De La's, I mean,
Oh,
one of my favorite groups of all time, rest in peace, Dave, and LL, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, Queen Latifah. Like, you see these people who are touching stages right now this year. So 50 years of hip hop. I think it's fair to say that you've had an opportunity to experience um, a great number of those years. What is your I don't know, man, like, does that resonate with you at all? Like, how do you feel
I-
about that?
I'm 45 years old. I don't remember life without hip hop.
Yeah.
I really don't. I really don't. I do remember, like, my friend handed me the dubbed, like I was saying, Houdini tape when I was like in third and fourth grade. Bumping Friends in the library on the library cassette player. Just inundated with the music. Michael Jackson, even. Like, I can't remember a day without music like that in my life. And
Yeah.
and then the love for records and sampling and all that stuff comes from that same era. Seeing these cool album covers, the 80s and 90s album covers for hip hop were phenomenal. Some of my favorite stuff, and it was just, I had to have it. And then finding out where they, how they made the beats, and go, oh, my dad has that record. I know that song. And then
Yeah.
they stop it, and then a beat comes in. I'm like, oh, what just happened? I was
Right.
like, if
Right.
this is a method, I got to know it, So
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I'm very passionate about hip hop music. I'm very passionate about the culture. I'm very passionate about recognizing my space in the culture and respecting it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, I have a lot of passion for the music and for the culture. Yes.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Chopping up with Jim across the street, Portland. So, um, you mentioned Rappy Dusky, man, and anybody who watches Cross the Street gets an opportunity to hear his name and what he does, similar to yourself in terms of providing platform for local artists, local producers. You know, I know that in my journey, I have developed some really cool relationships and friendships with people over the years, really organically. You mentioned that this is a relationship that may for it sounds like for the first time create a place for you to share your creative another thing that you create, which is music, through what he is doing. Um, that seems really cool. Um, to I don't know, man, just to build with people in a fashion like that. Can you speak to that at all?
Yes, the Rappy's my favorite. Big ups to Rappy Dusky. All of you artists submit your tracks to pretty dope submissions at gmail.com, and Rappy will get you played on his credited radio station. We say it on every episode. He's the audible version of what Cross the Street does, visually, class act human being. And yeah, we I feel like him and I have a special kindred relationship with what we do with our community, and what a great place to share it with his platform. He shares the locals only segment brought to you by Cross the Street that plays on PDX radio, where he plays 2 hours of just local submissions. And I am brought to tears sometimes, even at the amount of respect that he gets for what he's doing, and vice versa for what I'm doing. And to see us work together has been awesome. And it's not going to end. I'm going to continue to do it as long as my show is available. Rappy will be part of, like I say, the audible version of what Cross the Street does visually. So,
That's what's up, bro.
yeah.
So you have do you know how many episodes of Cross the Street there are?
260 some odd. We figured there's roughly 500 Portlanders that we've touched in the last year and a half that we've interviewed. For a lack of a better word, sometimes we like to say that we're media training, and I can prove it. You go back and watch some of these episodes of some of these guys that have been on my show, guys and gals, 2 years ago, a year ago, and then you look at the way they were on the microphone and how they do their interviews, and then you see them for their 7th time on Cross the Street,
Right.
and it's a completely different thing. And my behavior included. Birdie, Liz, we've all gotten better. So we've all gotten better.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, bro. It's one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm sure I've said it publicly, but I found that it's interesting when I've had an opportunity to interview local creatives, like people who you see on stage with a ton of energy and this, that, and the third, and then I invite them into, to the studio at the radio station and, turn the mics on, and it's like they just kind of shut down, and it's interesting how environment can really change things. So it's cool to hear you say that you've experienced that as well.
I bring the girls with me quite often when Birdie and Liz are with me. It brings a different energy to people. I can't tell you, like you were saying, like, some of the toughest guys, you might listen to their music and be like, dang, this guy's woo. Then you get there, big teddy bear hugging Birdie and creepy Liz. And it's nice. It's nice. So yeah, the energy can change rapidly, and we've seen it go just the other way too. Oftentimes we have activities to do on our show, and we'll turn what seems to be a stone figure into a teddy bear with some bubbles in a matter of 5 minutes. So.
Right. Your team, bro. Wait a minute. Who's this peeking in the window?
If you've ever been around Cross the Street long enough to know, Birdie Lee will show up, but we don't know exactly what time Birdie Lee will show up.
Yo, that's too funny, B.
Come squeeze in, buddy. Come on now.
She's probably not
gonna be able to hear you very well.
Hey, yo, Birdie, what's good? What's good?
Oh, you got your headphones,
You say hi, Birdie.
Hi.
Hey, Birdie Lee, live on the Klyph Notes podcast. So Jimbo, that was actually going to be something I wanted to ask. Is you mentioned the team, Birdie obviously being a member of that team. Break it down for the listeners who maybe haven't had an opportunity to check out Cross the Street, the show. So who's the team?
Well, the team is I'm Jim Bonus Beats. I'm your host and creator of Cross the Street. Birdie Lee, our fabulous co-host, and then we have Liz from Logistics. Liz from Logistics is she's the one that writes all of our fantastic titling. She does a lot of our back end research on guests. While I'm editing, I'll be editing a show from the day before, and Liz will be looking up stats and things to look at our next guest for the next day. And then Birdie, blossoming co-host. No one does it better. No one does it better. When we do event coverage, she's the one standing in the street and interviewing random strangers like she's known them their whole lives, which is an infectious smile. What do we call it? A moth to a flame. You put her on a street corner with that microphone, and inevitably someone will find her.
No doubt. No doubt. So I was kind of just scrolling through the feed, and I saw, I think it was, so Birdie was a guest on Cross the Street.
That was Birdie's first. That was it. Birdie was her episode was the first time that she was on Cross the Street as a guest. And
yes.
Then the relationship that her and I have developed on camera with one another is something that I think most guys or anybody that runs a TV show would dream about. She naturally fell into it with great ease.
Yeah.
And her infectious smile, of course, does wonders for our program as well. No one wants to look at me for 20 minutes. I promise you that. So she breaks it up great. And then Liz, I get so many great ideas from her. Wonderful. She went to college. She's like way smarter than I am. She's very thoughtful at how to ask the questions and what to bring up. And I am blessed at my team for someone that didn't ask for a team, and to have two people believe in what I'm doing with their hearts as well. Yeah, that's amazing. It's been amazing. Thank you, Birdie. Thank you, Liz.
That's so dope. That's so dope. So Birdie, let me ask you, getting into being a part of the Cross the Street team, one, what did you expect? And then two, now that you've been doing it for a minute, what surprises you about Cross the Street?
At first I had no expectations because I know every day was going to be different. Every opportunity was like, it was going to be super unique. So I love to go into it just like, I'm ready for whatever. But my favorite part and like what I've like went through with it is getting to meet new people. Like I literally love like all the old guests has been on it, but then my excitement is coming from like, oh, like who are you? Like where are you from? Like just getting to know the new people that's getting into the game, getting into the music, and like, or they had a huge history, but we just never heard about them or known about them. So it's like fun all the way around for me.
No doubt, no doubt. And I have to agree with Jim, man. Your smile it absolutely does present and create a space of warmth and relaxation and welcoming. So just keep doing you, Birdie. Keep doing you, for real.
Thank you.
No, she's the best. Again, yeah, without the girls' energy sometimes, I don't know what I would do. I've been in some uncomfortable interviews, and they have just relieved that immediately from the moment we get there. So they've been great. They've been great.
No doubt, man. No doubt. How have you, how do I ask this? Have you experienced a level of recognition that maybe you didn't expect?
Yeah, it's happened a few times. Birdie's a freaking celebrity, of course. She's like the face. We've been at the 7-Eleven before, and people have spotted us. Birdie in particular, of course. I've had a couple interactions. I think for the first time in my life a few months ago, I finally had my first maybe like anxiety moment, if you will. Just a lot of people trying to talk to me at one time while I was trying to create a TV show, which I don't mind, but it was the first time that I was like, wow, this is a lot.
Yeah.
But I take it with stride. People that wear the shirts, we have the shirts, of course.
Yes.
My mother is, goes to the doctor's office from time to time, and she had one of the nurses even ask, "Oh, I watched that show." So,
that's so dope.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of those. I think more importantly, the stories we get from people that have been on the show
Yeah.
about, those are the ones that are powerful, where they say, I reunited with a friend of mine from so long ago because they saw me on the show, or we get that one a lot. We get that one a lot. Yeah.
And I guess the same question for you, Birdie. I mean, like Jim says, I mean, you are, like, when we watch Cross the Street now, like, you are who we see. So have you experienced that level of recognition in your daily walk?
Yes, everywhere I go, somehow, some way, I meet people that see me from the beginning. I see people from high school that I can't quite remember everything, like names and like classes we were in, but they're like, oh my God, they're like, I remember you from high school. And they literally, it's like an honor to me to like reunite with, someone I just met last week, or someone I met childhood. Even in Subway the other day, I just met one of my neighbors from like middle school days, and it was just like so much to me in Subway. And I was like, oh my God. And she was like, yeah, I make this, I make jewelry, I make, and I've been seeing her snaps and stuff. And she's like, maybe one day I'll be on across the street. And I'm just like, it would be our honor. Just reach out to Jimbo. And I feel so honored to be a part of this. And I love that everybody wants to like join and share and like connect the puzzle, connect the dots.
Yeah.
And work together.
That's so dope, man. That is so dope. Jim, when you started Cross the Street, did you have a particular part of the scene, a particular group of creatives or artists or individuals that you were kind of focused on reaching out to and speaking with?
I got to give a lot of credit to some of the people, I guess. I got the opportunity to work with Tim 33 and a third at the Movement at Cave on Sunday nights from 10 to midnight for a few years there before the pandemic started. I was going in studio with them, and Tim, I asked him, is there any chance you'd be open to me booking some guests on the show? And eventually 2 guests a night every Sunday for quite a few years there. I did with him. And as part of that, some of the relationships I built there when I started the podcast, most people didn't take me serious. I was canceled quite a few times. I had some very, very sad days. I bring everybody a gift. I was spending $20, $25 a gift. And it got wild there in the beginning. It got a little disappointing. But no, I mean, I say it on the show sometimes, the reindeer games that is across the street, I had quite a few friends. Big ups to Figure Eight. Swiggle, got to give special thanks to Swiggle, all the Cordetta brothers. They were very gracious in entertaining the idea that I was trying something new, and they were willing to participate. So that was huge. Without some of those early successes, I don't know if I would have gone on.
Yeah. It definitely does take that is important. It is important to feel like you have people who at least see the vision and can be supportive of that in some way. Birdie, as you've been on board now, do you have a wish list? Do you have I definitely would love to have, this person on Cross the Street. I would love to interview this individual. Is there anybody, like, do you have your sort of,
as much as I went to school with a lot of like talented people. And some of my wish list is just some of my friends that I got to see grow up. Like Aaron O'Brien
Smith, super talented. Come on, my friend. Come on.
We went to high school together, and he was so talented from the day like that we met. But his schedule is so busy. Jay Lava, I went to high school with him. He's really awesome in the industry. It's it's like a lot of my friends create and do amazing things. And I wish that one day that I could feature them and be like, what, some people I knew prior, but I also have a dream list of like, people I don't know, but it's more important for the people I do know. I told her to reach out to. I was like,
I get a message. I get a message at least once a week from Birdie, alarming me or a warning or giving me notice of someone that should be on Cross the Street, and we've used plenty of those. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That has to be one of the joys of having a team and being able to have somebody to bounce ideas off of, or just somebody to help carry the crates. I think that's huge. That's huge.
They've had enough of my 100 ideas a minute phases. I give these girls the rundown like you wouldn't believe. I'm firing at all cylinders, and they've all gone onto the same method now. So it's a little ADD at times across the street. But we sure do get it done.
Because he does music videos. We're like planning like a little mini movie. I forgot what it's called. Like we plan like so many other things, but our main focus obviously is Cross the Street. So it's. I'm like, oh, I know someone. Check it out on Instagram. Check them out like all the time.
Okay, so hold up. So what's up with the music videos?
I also film music videos for anybody out there. I've done quite a few. I've done some work for Anthony Boski Rock. List goes on. We got Ted Loke. We've done a bunch of music videos, but something else I do. Birdie's always in all the music videos that I film.
Because I do choreography and dance actually on my passionate side as well. And so if you wanted to check some of my music videos out, and he did most of them that I'm in, but it's Birdie Lee Portland on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so you can see some of the recent music videos I was in.
That's what's up. And
They're so fun.
Go ahead.
I feel like I'm the worst at advertising myself. I'm like the worst at this. All the things I do between the beats and the music videos, and I've even done some voiceover work. I did voiceover work for Pricey. Shout out to Pricey. Thank you for the opportunity.
That's dope, B. But you know what, bro? So that's one of the things that you and I were talking a little bit about. So I also want to say, I know that I said thank you so much for having me on Cross the Street on featuring me and the things that I'm doing. But then, man, also thank you so much for coming out to Cliff Notes Live, man, for the interview that I had an opportunity to do with Julian Outlaw. The passion that you guys show with what you do, the selflessness that you show in what you like, you guys just coming out and filming that and posting it. Because I'm on the other side of that, I just can't speak to how much I appreciate it. But in talking to you, I also I know how it is to be in a place where, look, bro, I'm just doing what I'm passionate about. I'm just doing what I love, and to a certain degree, and hopefully not putting words in your mouth, but to a certain degree, just providing a service for the community. And I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not asking for anybody to do whatever. And that's where I feel like we are to a certain degree like-minded, where I know that you're not going to be like, yo, come check out whatever. So you need people like me with my platform to be like, no, come on, Jim. I am going to make sure that my audience, at the very least, knows who you are and what you are doing.
I am super thankful for this opportunity, number one. I'm glad you spoke about the Cliff Notes Live thing. That was a great thing for us because we took responsibility leaving there. We're going to get some butts in the seats for you next time. If anybody that's in Portland, you guys need to come out here. This is an amazing opportunity, number one, for the artists. Number two, it's an even better opportunity for the fans. It's a live podcast. The space is amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. And for the price of free,
come on.
DJ OG1, even if he does one mix in front of you, feel like you got your time and your money's worth that night. Mm-hmm. There's vendors there. We bought a shirt. What did we get? Yeah. See, back to the advertising once again.
Apparel, the official sponsor of the Cliff Notes podcast, by the way.
See, this is what I'm talking about. No, there's no reason that event should not be packed full of people. And it's people like you, though, Klyph. Seriously, like when I first started doing this, I just watched every interview you did. I was like, dude, the Matt Randall episode that you did outside.
Yeah, shout out to Matt Randall.
I interviewed Matt Randall a week after I did that, and I want to say I stole every question that you had. I think I don't think I asked anything different. I think I stole everything that you had. I mean,
Boy, that's love.
yeah,
Man.
it's let's keep this up. Let's keep whether or not I live the silver medalist for life mentality. I just want to die with a drawer full of silver medals.
Oh my gosh, bro. Nah, it's much bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then documentary, like what's up with that?
I've had people ask about a documentary quite often, and I kind of feel like I'm making it.
Kind of, yes.
I mean, could I stitch something together a little more creatively? Possibly. I also I always err on the caution of telling a tale that's not mine. I have to be very respectful of the community around me, and when that story is ready to be told, I'll be there to help. How about that?
That's what's up. That's what's up, bro. Man, your humility is definitely to be noted and appreciated, bro, because you do what you do with a platform that you have where you don't have to be humble. You know what I mean? You've done a lot for a lot of individuals, man, and the fact that you show the humility that you have is to be commended for sure, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Come on, bro. So you've been doing Cross the Street for a minute in the city of Portland, and you had an opportunity to do this through some pretty trying times in the city. You know, when you talk about going out to venues and covering events and creatives in a time where people couldn't necessarily do events, where they couldn't show their artistic wares. Now we're recording this in April of 2023, so we're now, you know, we're outside again. But that had to be crazy to try to navigate that during those times.
During the pandemic, it was tough. It was tough. That's why the outside factor really was what saved it. I was able to conduct multiple interviews a month outside. Just go on a walk, stay 6, 8, 10 feet away from each other, sanitize even the smallest microphone and hand it to them. We were really taking precautions. And it worked out great. It worked out. I was able to do things while other podcasts were just at a standstill.
Yeah,
it was hard for them to get guests, and here I am conducting live interviews on a walk. When people weren't even going outside, so it was kind of unique in the sense that a podcast in motion is kind of, I believe, the key words that really made my program just be a little bit different during those pandemic times.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. And then I love how you described being in Portland, how much you have a passion for this area. When we see people who are broadcasting about the city, that's not always what's talked about, especially over the last couple of years. So you give another view, you give another sort of picture of the city than what people may get. Have you gotten any feedback in terms of that? The fact that you see that you show a side of togetherness and of community that outside the city you'll see.
I think other than the people that have been on the show, we get a lot of gratitude from our guests and the people that we highlight. We do get plenty of gratitude, but very little outside. I think you're right. I think being new to video journalism, I find it very responsible of me to not highlight the things that I could do very easily.
Right.
Which is, the drug abuse and the houselessness and the despair in our city. I will not highlight. I will not. I will just show, for lack of a better words, the shiny parts or the coal, if you will, being blossomed and roughed up into a diamond. But I will not highlight the terrible things that are happening in our city. I will not.
I dig it, man. So, like I said, man, we're at April 2023. Spring is here. We're seeing more and more events happening. We're getting into. I remember when I first moved to Portland years ago, and I moved in going into the winter months, and I was like, man, where is everybody? And then the spring happened, and all of a sudden, everybody was outside. So we're getting into that season. What's on deck for Cross the Street for 2023?
We got lots going on, actually. We just wrapped last night. Shout out to Miss Oregon. We did the Dirty Dancing event. It was the finale for that. That was fun down at Spark. We got Springfest coming up with Rain Ezra. Really excited about that.
Yeah.
We are going to do some cross the street field trip adventures coming up in the spring here.
Okay.
So we're going to gather as many people as we can to meet at a particular location and enjoy ourselves for one giant episode across the street. We're also going to do the flash mobs. We're going to get as many cross the street guests and participants and viewers to show up at one particular place, and we're going to send Birdie in on a secret mission. And then we're all going to run in the store and spend $20 a piece or more at one location or two locations during one day. And,
that's so dope.
And we're going to pick a location that we love, which is small business, which is local business. And we're going to spoil them for an afternoon with our flash mob is the idea.
So dope, man. They're once again, just an example of what you continue to do, which is to support, which I think is dope, man. Shout out to Miss Oregon. Shout out to Rain Ezra. Two individuals who are doing some pretty crazy things in the city. The things that Rain Ezra's doing are just amazing. She is such a wonderfully talented young lady, someone else that I need to connect with on that level. You talked about merch, bro. You talked about the cross the street merch, and I'm grateful enough that I got the t-shirt. Thank you so much.
Hey.
People want to get cross the street merch. How do they get it?
Currently it's just hand to mouth. I give so much credit to all of our t-shirt and clothing brand vendors out here. I get them to the car, and that's about as far as I can get. I don't know how y'all drag them in there and set them up. And but if you need one at this point, unfortunately, we're such a small time thing. If just tap in on the Cross the Street PDX, we'll happily mail one to you. Other than that, if you see me in the streets, I'd probably have the box in my car, hopefully.
No doubt. So I'm gonna ask a tough question, bruh.
Yeah.
How do people support? Now, I'm not talking about subscribing and liking and watching and sharing. Like, how do people support Cross the Street? Because we operate in similar avenues. I know what it takes. I know what it takes time-wise, and I know what it takes from a financial standpoint. How can people support Cross the Street?
If you would like to help support, we would be gracious. You can contribute on Cash App at Cross the Street PDX, also a Venmo, Cross the Street PDX. All of the money we raise goes to things like spending directly back on the show. We will take every guest gets a gift, and we generally buy that gift from small local business, and then we directly show that money being taken out on the program so you can see where your money was spent. 100% transparency. Number two, we don't support big business, unfortunately. If we have to buy a gift for someone and it comes from big business, the Cross the Street team takes that on the chin, and we want to see the money spent that you guys donate spent in our community. Keep that money in our circle as long as we can before PGE wants their cut. So,
no doubt. The show is available regularly, man. I told you when I was so I don't even know the right word. I don't know the right adjective, bro. It blew me away when we had an opportunity to do our interview, that it was literally up as quickly as it was. And I told you, bro, when you and I do our interview on Cliff Notes, it's not going to be up that quick. But and then, man, shout out to my wife, bro. She was so blown away about the quick turnaround. The skill that you guys do the show, the level that you operated at, and the quick turnaround that you have, man. It just, once again, it goes to show how much passion is behind this project. And so once again, I can't say thank you enough for doing what you do for the community. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it, and thank you for being here on my podcast, man.
I appreciate the opportunity very much. Thank you to all of your listeners. Continue to support what Klyph's doing as well. We won't call it thankless. We will not call it thankless. Right. We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all.
No doubt. Hey, yo, if people want to tap in, man, Birdie, I'll ask you first. If people want to tap in with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can go to my Instagram. It's Bird with a Y, LEE PDX.
That's Bird LE
with the Y.
with the Y. PDX.
PDX.
That's what's up. And then Jim, same question for you, bro.
Catch us at you can catch me on Jim Bonus Beats, just how it sounds, Jim Bonus Beats, all one word on Instagram. And then of course Cross the Street PDX everywhere. We really love to see you on YouTube. Go to YouTube, Cross the Street PDX, you'll find us right away. Subscribe, click your little bell. We have friends of the show list of people that you can see below to subscribe to their channels as well as part of our cross networking and support. But that's where we want to find you. Cross the Street PDX on YouTube. That's where we love to have you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Before I let you guys go, man, any other pearls, any other information that you want to put out there for people to be up on?
Just continue to support. If you're in Ohio, Portland, I don't care where you're at right now, there's got to be 1,000 artists in your town. There's one that you like. I promise you, find it. You might find 2 after that. You might find 600 after that, but find someone in your town, support someone. I promise you there's someone doing good things.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. Jimbo, Jim Bonus Beats, Birdie Lee, Cross the Street, Portland. Yo, thank y'all so much for being on the Klyph Notes podcast, man.
Thank you so much, Klyph.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, man. Once again, check out the Klyph Notes podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon, like literally everywhere, or klyphnotes.com. Big ups to Acapella Apparel for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check them out, akepele.com. As if you're watching the video stream, you see that Jim is holding up the sign right now. My guy DJ Renz has some dope gear. We're getting into the summer months, so get you some tees. You know what I mean? Once again, big ups to Acapella Apparel, akepele.com. And last but never ever least, big ups to the homie Theory Has It for creating the official theme song for the Klyph Notes podcast. All right, y'all. Until we have an opportunity to do this again, y'all be blessed. Peace.
Bye.